If you were here yesterday, you know the market turmoil that occurred. What a day yesterday was. How fast things can change. Shares of AI were going up, nice and steady, and then the entire market sank yesterday. Record-beating earnings from NVIDIA didn't matter. It's as if people took the good news and decided it was a great time to exit the markets. And that's possibly what may have happened. Today is Friday, August 25th. Welcome to session 20 of my $1 million journey. My name is Edward James Carey. I create content to help you create the life that you desire. Right now, this series is specifically focused on financial mastery, building financial wealth, and I'm demonstrating my journey to you on how I am doing it in my own life. I'm not a financial advisor. None of this should be taken as financial advice. I'm simply documenting and recording my process and my journey so that you can have observable evidence of what kind of things are possible in life for you. That being said, let's go to the markets today. I've noticed that there is not a lot to report. There's not a lot going on today. In spite of yesterday's record-breaking drops, we've reached new lows. I suspected I might wake up and see a very strong rally back up, but I do not. As you can see here, pre-market shares of AI are $28.88. That's only 5 cents over yesterday's close. NVIDIA is actually down. The S&P 500 is up $1.20 per share. Tesla is also slightly up by just a few cents. Google is up by a few cents. Amazon is up by a few cents. AMD is down by a few cents. Apple up by a few cents. And we are back to AI. My goodness, the market appears to be sleeping. Is this an indication of quiet, calm before the storm? I don't know, but I'm excited to find out today. We're 5 minutes away from open. If you remember correctly, I had purchased shares yesterday. I still feel as though I wish I had purchased them lower than I did. Oh, this is a dollar cost average here, $29.81. So I think the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to split that back up into the actual share values, $29.57 and $30.04. I'm doing that for a reason. I may not actually hold on to these shares at these values. I think that if I see an opportunity in the market bouncing up, even to $29.57 today, I may actually close off just at a break even or a slight profit, just in case the market decides it wants to go down later in the day. Market can go down, it can go sideways, it can go up. I don't know which it's going to do. I do know that the pre-market indicates there is nothing going on, and that could be absolutely intentional. You know, we may see a market bell open and we may see heavy spikes of green come in and massively catapult the shares. But I don't know. What I do know is there's no indication of that occurring right now. But that could be completely intentional. That might be the plan for the day. I don't know. Stay tuned and find out. I will be back in just a moment. Hello, welcome back. I missed the market opening. Let's go straight in, and wow, we took off like a rocket right from the opening bell. Unfortunately though, we did not reach the level of my first buy-in. I was actually going to liquidate these 15 shares that I paid $29.57 for. So I do have an open active sell limit order set for $29.60. I'm going to see if I can maybe recover the capital on at least these 15 shares and possibly reposition it at a lower value. But that is only if this strong upward rally reaches $29.60. And so far, it started off really well, but it just looks like every other day. It looks like a temporary push, and now I see we're declining back down again. So I'm gonna sit here actively. I'm gonna wait and see. Like I said, it would be nice to regain this capital just in case the market drop is not done yet. Now, I did pick up, I'm not a news following person, but I did pick up that Jerome Powell in the United States has a yearly speech today, which could heavily influence and impact the activity of the markets. And based on what I saw today, everybody seems to be waiting, everybody seems to be nervous, everybody seems to be completely holding back any activity pending this yearly speech. So although I don't follow news, I must accept current events the way that they are and the fact that they may have a short-term or an immediate temporary impact on what is going on. In the meantime, I knew that markets would either go up, sideways, or down, and it looked like they wanted to rocket up, but there was very strong sell pressure on both of those green candles this morning, holding them back. So a lot of people still letting go of shares rather than accumulating. And right now, the sellers are currently winning the market, back down to 29.03, 29.02. So where this madness ends, nobody yet knows. Let's just wait and see. Now, yesterday, I was so wrapped up in the market turmoil that was going on that I forgot to pay attention to something very, very peculiar. And that is, I want to go back. Do you remember these green candles that came in yesterday? There's one for 47,000 shares there. There's another one back here for 27,000 shares. A few sessions ago, I said that I was keeping my eye on activity to indicate heavy green volume spikes, to indicate that major institutions or heavy players might be closing short positions. And that is a good indication right there of what may have occurred late in the afternoon yesterday. Like I said, share values dropped almost $6 a share yesterday from the previous post-market close, down over $6. That could have been very strong indication right there, particularly since the share value didn't move an inch on that buy volume. That could have been an institution closing a short position. Now, if that's indeed what happened, that's a good thing. That means that some heavyweight seems to think that the bottom may be over. Again, it's too early to tell. I don't know for certain. Let's go back to take a look at things here. I see another rally going up. We're back up to 29.40. I saw 29.43 there. I'm going to try to let my first 15 shares go at 29.60 if I see it push at or over 29.60, but do not see volume to continue rallying up the support much further. Actually, I think that's a good strategy just to take that 29.60 right now. Even if it does go up a little bit, I suspect it might actually drop later in the day. And if it does, I want to be able to at least reposition that capital on those 15 shares and get a better average on the shares that I also purchased at $30.04. I mean, we may actually go up to $30.04 today as well. And if we do, I might actually close that batch of shares as well. Just start over. Start over with that $1,000 in capital that I had and wait longer than I did yesterday for the late morning, mid-afternoon, especially since this is Friday and Fridays are their own animal when it comes to trading. So I'm gonna stick with my plan. I'm going to see if I can do 29.60. You know, a better plan of action might be just to go for my break even of $29.81. Why don't I do that? I think, yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set up, let's go 29.84. Just to be safe, I'm gonna take my 30 shares back. I'm gonna see if I can get them all in one in one go. Now, $29.84, we are only at $29.34, 50 cents to go, just to see if I can get $29.84. It may happen. If it does, I'll take my capital and I'll redeploy. So it looks like we trended down again. We did push up. We got up to $29.43, and then it turned around again. $29.43 was close, but not quite what I need at $29.85. I'm still hopeful that maybe I will get my capital back and just give myself just a little bit of breathing room. Still a lot of sell pressure going on against these green buying sessions. There was also a lot of buying pressure against that sell candle on the last one, but nope, the sellers are currently winning the market. Back down to $29.24. If I see my opportunity to take my capital back, I will. If I don't, well, then I'm just holding on. Now, the volume today, again, is back down to low levels. We have 400,000 shares so far at just under 15 minutes in the day. Remember yesterday how we were over 1 million by this point already? It's not like that today. In fact, yesterday's volume broke, I think, 20 million shares. That's the first time I've seen that in weeks. Here we go with another strong rally up. $29.63 we're at. There's a breakaway candle there. Again, I don't see massive amounts of volume to support a massive rally continuing. This is 24,000 shares coming in. $29.68. We're getting very close. $29.70, 71, 74. Getting really close now. I've got a sell limit at $29.85, which is only 4 cents per share higher than my dollar cost average of purchasing in. And I would like to get at least that. But also, if I click that sell button at $29.85 and it decides to go over $30, ouch. Again, I'm not looking for a solid, continuous run up. I don't think this is going to be a day on Friday where the markets just keep going up, up, up and away. I really don't. So I was looking for an opportunity to potentially cash out my 30 shares. We didn't quite hit it. We came within 10 cents, but we didn't quite hit it. And now we're dropping back down again to $29.54. The decision I have to make is whether to let the 15 shares go at a profit by themselves, which means that I'm stuck with the other 15 unless we go over $30.04, or hold tight and get rid of all 30 shares at a dollar cost average of less than $30.04, $29.85, which from what I'm seeing, that difference of 20 to 25 cents could be the determining factor of whether I am left holding these shares or whether I'm able to exit. And personally, if I'm gonna get left holding 15 shares, it's not a big difference as to whether I'm holding 15 or holding 30 at this point. I don't really think it makes a huge difference. Therefore, not a lot of sense in me just selling 15 shares and leaving the other 15 in. If I can get all 30 back to get a better position later in the day, then that's a good play. If I'm trying to do a half measure, not very effective. What a lot of indecision in the market today. Look at these candles. We've got a little bit of volume coming in, but these candles have such strong wicks on both sides and such small actual dollar shift in share value going on. The dollar value has moved almost nothing in the past 2 minutes, despite the volume coming in. I'm still sitting and waiting, hoping to see one more breakout rally on the upward trajectory where I can cash these shares out, $29.85. And I am sitting here with a manual finger on the button at $29.85, just in case it blasts right through with no sign of slowing down. All right, it looks like the rally up may be done. We're headed back down again. For a second there, I was hopeful that we might hit that magic marker of 29.85, but then the market decided to take a turn in the other direction. I see mild volume coming in right now to try to support the activity that's currently going on. At 29.49, we're still 35 to 40 cents away from what I need in order to close my position. And because I don't see heavy volume indicators to demonstrate that there's going to be a lot of activity this morning, I'm looking at this as a reasonable move to make. Just close the position, break even at a slight profit, wait patiently for a chance to reposition the capital at a better share valuation. If we see one more strong market rally up, that might be all it takes in order to get me out of this position. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to commit to this decision. I'm just going to confirm that order. I'm not going to hold it. I'm not going to try to catch more than I'm asking for at this point. I'm just going to go for my 29.85 on 30 shares and call this individual trade a close. If the market decides it wants to play fairly and go that direction, which I'm not holding my breath on. Here we go back down, 29.33. You know, I'm finding this whole experience very interesting. There are some days where a $1 swing in shares of AI is a breeze. And then there's other days like today where that $1, or in this case, that 35 to 40 cents, if you just caught the wrong entry and exit points, if you're within that $1 band where the shares of AI are tightly playing in, but do not want to break one way up or one way down, that $1 difference can be a huge issue. If you were around yesterday when I purchased my shares at $30.04, 29.57, you also know that later in the day, the market dropped even below my lowest point and went all the way back down below $28 again, down into $27 territory. And had I been patient enough to purchase at that bottom, I would have had my 30 shares for over $1.50 lower than where I actually purchased them in. And so here I am waiting at the opening bell of the following day, just trying to see if the share value will go back up to my break-even point, which for the share value to do, it literally has to go back up $1.50, $1.60, $1.70 just for me to get out of my position. Instead of me sitting here waiting and hoping to unload 30 shares at a break-even point, I could have been sitting here watching 30 shares that are up $1.50, $1.70 per share and deciding what to do with them in that case. It would be a completely different experience sitting in this chair. And I also want to begin cultivating that experience. I want to begin cultivating the experience where I am holding shares which are always up at least $1.50, $2 per share, so that I don't feel that emotional urgency to let them go. I actually want to be sitting holding on to a bunch of shares that are appreciating in value, not declining in value. All right, it looks like we are headed back down today. It is 6:56 a.m. and we are headed in an average direction considering this time of day. There have been days where market lows reach at around 7:30 a.m. and today looks like no exception. It looks like we might be on the way back down there. And what that means is I am likely to switch my sell limit order from a break-even point and just go back into a holding point and see what happens later in the day. 28.93. Yeah, I'm going to change this I'm going to take the 29.81 average. 2.5% would be $30.55. So let me put those shares of AI back at $30.65. I'm going to go $30.65 on my 30 shares. So instead of breaking even, I'm going to go for just a little bit over 2.5%. 2.5 to 3%. I'm going to lock that in, and I'm going to step away, and I'm going to leave this market order open at $30.65. This is intended as a short-term close. I'm not looking to get that by the end of the day. I'm looking to get that by the next hour or so, should the market go up when I'm away. And if so, then I will have the capital back and I will be in a better position financially to take advantage of potentially repositioning my capital later in the day if we see a market crash. So for now, I'm going to leave that order as it is. I see the market starting to turn back in an upward direction, but I'm not going to get all excited about it. I'm just going to commit to my decision, let it go at $30 and whatever I set it at. If I get that, that's not just breaking even. That's actually making a profit on those 30 shares. I'll take it and I'll move on. Stay tuned. This is the last day of the week. I'm excited to see how the day plays out overall. I will be back soon. All right, I am back. It is 7:15. I just happened to walk in and see this activity in the market here. Look at this. Things were heading in the direction that I had expected on the way down towards 7:30. We reached a low of 28.55. But then all of a sudden, the market turned around with this heavy breakaway in an upward trajectory. Now again, me having my capital back and being able to redeploy it at 28.55 or even lower, 27 something, would be a far stronger position than me holding on to shares that I'm hoping to catch $30.50 something cents for. But the fact that I just happened to come in and see this breakaway means that I might change my mind again. I don't know. $30.65. That is exactly $1 higher than where we currently are. It's difficult to say whether we'll go up there. I do see this nice strong green rally. It's a good sign to see. I don't know if it's going to continue. And I specifically don't know if it's going to continue for another 75 cents to $1. It might. Who knows? It might be a fortuitous day. I just wanted to update and let you know that what was going on in real time, and that is what's currently going on. It looks like things have slowed down a little bit. I'm gonna continue stepping away and taking a break. I'll be back soon. All right, I am back. It is 9:45 on this Friday morning. Let's have a look at what's going on in order to catch up. Okay. I'm looking at this morning activity here, and the first thing I'm noticing is we have over 7 million shares of volume at about 9:45 in the morning. And that amount of volume for right now is pretty good, considering that we have been having days in the past 2 to 3 weeks where we'd be lucky to hit 7 million shares throughout the entire day. That's pretty good. Now, I'm looking at the chart activity here, and it looks like it is behaving like an average day that I would normally expect to see. Now, clearly every day is not the same. That's not what I'm saying. But I do notice a trend overall, since I've started trading in June, that on an average day, we can typically see this type of behavior. Early morning rise up, followed by a morning drop, followed by another rally up, and then usually followed by a steeper drop, which today has done. And in today's case, that low point we hit right around 8 o'clock in the morning. Now, sometimes there's another low around 9:30, 10:30, but in today's case, I don't see evidence of that happening. In today's case, it looks like we hit a low right around 8 o'clock, and now the market has continued to slowly progress its way upward, and it looks like it's continuing to do so, at least at this point. We're at a share value now of $29.33, which is almost back up to these points first thing in the morning here. This morning we had 29.75, 29.76, right around that area. So one of the things that I'm looking for today, as I let this day play out, is I'm hoping to see this rally continue and continue going up. I'm hoping to see us break this previous morning peak of $29.76. And in fact, I'm actually hoping that we go up to around $30.65 before the end of the day. That would be nice. Again, I'd like to point out that this is a Friday, so Fridays don't normally end in a usual all-day rally up. A lot of times, it will rally up right until 11, 11:30, maybe noon, but then it'll taper back down and even drop in the late afternoon. And I'm sitting here hoping that today is not going to follow that average. I'm actually hoping that today we might get a little bit of relief from all this nonsense that has been going on throughout the whole month, in fact, of August. And I'm hoping that we will see a steady progression upward, even closing maybe above the $30, $31 range. That'd be nice to see. So in the meantime, I'm going to continue enjoying my day. I just wanted to do a check-in. I do have my sell limit set for 30 shares to close at $30.65 when it reaches that point. And I don't feel like doing anything to change my current position. So I'm just going to let this day play, and I'm going to see where it ends up. Stay tuned. I will be back later in the day, and we will see how things go. Hello, I am back. The day is over. The market is closed. There was nothing left for me to report that I felt was critical enough for the rest of the day. But I do want to talk about the end of the day as well as an adjustment that I made. Now, if we look at this chart for stocks of AI, just by itself on an individual day, this is a perfect example of an excellent trading day. This is a day that I'm normally used to seeing on shares of AI. We started the morning with a run up. We crashed down to around a low of about 7:15, 7:30. Then we shot back up again. And then we crashed down around a low point of the day, right around 8 o'clock. And then we continued to go up until the end of the day where some nonsense happened. But in the process of going up, there was a crest and a decline, and then another peak and a drop, and then another run up. There was two peaks, either here or here. And then in the afternoon, it dropped. Now, if you look carefully at the market value compared to open and close, you can see that over the day, the close of 29.16 was only 0.03% higher than the open. So if you're looking at this from an investing mindset, nothing has happened. But from a trading mindset, there were opportunities to buy in the morning, sell out, buy again in a dip, sell out, buy again in a drop, sell before it drops at this peak, get in again right around here somewhere, catch this run up, and there were opportunities. There were about 4 or 5 different trade opportunities in this day. Now, normally when I'm actively trading, I couldn't participate in this today, by the way, because all of my capital, where is it? It's currently being held in other trades. And I've said it before, cash in hand is an asset for days like today. And I didn't have any. And I didn't want to create any new cash. So I just sat the day out and I watched, but I wanted to point this out as an example of an average day. And this is a Friday. This kind of behavior in the afternoon and late afternoon this is a good thing on a Friday, but it's not normal. Now, everything looked like it was going really great right up until around 12:30 when the markets took another turn down and shares declined again. But I've been thinking about a couple of things that I'm going to start doing next week. And I think I'm just going to play a little bit more conservatively. Instead of targeting 2.5% per individual trade, I spent some time this afternoon just playing with numbers and running with numbers. You have to understand, first of all, the 2.5%, I came up with that out of thin air as a new trader. There's nothing that basically gave me the idea for that, except for the person that I met who was teaching me trading was consistently closing weeks over 20 and 30%. So I just kind of figured, well, 2.5% a day, that could work. That's not bad. But I think that for individual trades, it's likely aggressive. If you look closely here, look at this low point here of $28.57, okay? Now, this is a perfect case scenario. I'm not suggesting the timing can be perfect to catch the bottom, but anywhere in this area right here, okay? Let's go 28.85. And then if we were to target, say, 1 to 1.5%, well, in order to get that on a share value of 28.85, okay, that's only not even 30 cents. That means that the share value only has to increase from the point that you buy in at 28.80, 28.85 and go up 30 cents. So that's 29.03. Okay, well that's way down here. Okay, and we still had a lot of run up there. So what I'm starting to think about testing out is testing a new trading strategy when I have capital, again, mind you, and I want to go back to the life that I was enjoying before I even started recording these videos, which I was catching these swings and I was earning an average of anywhere from 1 to 2.5 to 3%. Now, granted, you could ride it up higher, but I think overall, if I'm just working with an active trading balance and I'm targeting 1 to 2% on a trade and then closing, regardless of anything else, that's good. That's a strategy that I can hopefully rinse and repeat a few times per day. And over the day, it may add up to 3, 4, 5% over the day. But for individual trades, it would be a cumulative build. Anyway, I'll demonstrate this more next week or the week after or the week after that once I unlock some trade capital. Before I forget, I want to display the balance for the day. Okay, let's go take a look at my overall balance for the day. We are at the close on Friday, August 25th, and my current balance is $44,414. As you can see, I'm down $10,300. I'm down 19%. And again, I don't know why the actual holdings value is down more than the overall value, since I haven't really been doing anything other than trading shares of AI. But I'll go by this one up here, 44,400. Unfortunately, I did not take a screenshot of last week to give you a side-by-side comparison, but I believe it was around 46,000. So it's a couple $1,000s less this week. I'm just keeping score. I will be moving forth, looking for next week's total. So that is the balance. Let's go to the activity and an adjustment I made, a pretty important adjustment. As you know, I had been targeting getting rid of 30 shares for a total of $30.65. I still have that, except I've made one critical modification. I've added one share, okay? And I've pulled that from this top pile of 250 shares at $41.16. I'm going back to dollar cost averaging, and the $30.65 target that I'm selling out is still in profit, even pulling that one share at $41.16 into the average. So I'm going back to dollar cost averaging for next week. I'm going to be combining a strategy of dollar cost averaging my way out of positions, but I'm also going to be trying to do it within my original target strategy, which is trying to earn 1 to 1.5% on a trade. If I have enough shares to throw at a trade and I'm going for 1 to 1.5%, and I notice that my exit point is also higher than if I added a share for dollar cost averaging, that's what I'm going to do. And instead of taking a profit on my trade, I'm going to recover capital from one of my held shares. And my strategy moving forward is going to be to combine these two things, profit trading combined with dollar cost averaging, in order to slowly recover capital so that I don't miss days like today that presents these great trade opportunities. So that is going to be my strategy moving forward. Today was, overall, it was a good day. The markets did not continue heavy declining. One more thing I forgot to point out, okay, before we go. The volume today was 11.92 million shares, and as I'm looking at the bottom of the chart here, do you see all of these green spikes? All of these heavy green volumes? Look at this, there's 20,000 there. There's 11,000 there, 9,000, 10,000. There's like all of these random buy orders of 10,000 shares, 20,000 shares. That, I'm not saying that it is, but that could be an indication of heavy players beginning to close their short positions. If they're smart, they're not going to do it all at once. They're going to do it in a sequence, like I'm seeing demonstrated here. This may be a good sign, because if institutions are closing out their short orders, then it's an indication that the market is about to start going back up. Now, that's what I'm hoping for in the long term. It's not a guarantee, but it's what I'm observing that is about to happen. So I want to be prepared for that moving into next week and into the month of September. That's all for this week. That's all for today. You've been watching My $1 Million Journey. This is session 20, Friday, August 25th. Thank you for hanging out with me today. If you're liking the videos, if you've subscribed to the channel, maybe even leaving comments in some of the videos, I really appreciate all that activity and support. It helps me get this message out to others just like you. I will be back here early Monday morning for session 21, and I hope that you will consider joining me on that session right over here